Alright, let's get today started. I have no idea where Dream is. And I don't know why the Duolingo bird keeps coming up in drops. That reminds me, I need to add an idea to my little workstation channel. I need to see if I added it. I am slowly collecting op concepts for November. My goal is to have an operation document ready by the second half of this month, after we start really going forward with all the ops I owe from the previous one. But there's been some interesting things I've seen so far. Oh, and we do have the final Congo op tomorrow, but I'm going to be honest, attendance is not looking too strong for that one. I think it's mainly because people are sick of it, which I do agree, but that is interesting. All of the medics got taken. The only thing that got taken in that was all of the medics. That's pretty funny. I don't know. We'll see if we have more attendance on that. Otherwise, we'll just move right into the other campaigns. That's totally fine with me. This is just to allow people to burn all of their gear on it, and then we'll move into plenty of other concepts I want to work on over the weekend now that we finally have the time. All right, music's going strong. I think all of our announcements and commands are good to go. I need someone with a bit badge to type something for me. It can be anything, but I want to make sure they work. And while I do that, let me go ahead and put in what I need to. Completely unrelated note, if anyone knows there's a Duolingo bird skin for Arma 3, please let me know. Actually, that's a Devour King question. Hold on. I mean, he literally put in Rory from Gate for me. Let's see if he knows anything about that, too. Oh, my Arma got killed. I've noticed there's a new bug with Arma 3 where if you're tabbed out and they push the mission file to map, you crash. I don't know if it's because you're tabbed out and your computer's trying to prioritize the VRAM somewhere else or whatever, but it just kills your game. I don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand it, but it is what it is. Anyway, I just want to do a bit of testing. We have these now. But it turns out I put them in the wrong place. And then we needed a different pixel format for the actual badges themselves. Twitch is Twitch. It is what it is. But yeah, we've got all of those now. We've had those for a few days. And then earlier today, I was working with someone that wants to stay anonymous, but they were able to get me the formats I needed to then put them up as badges for the bit badges. When you have 1, maybe 2 life of gear, you can be honest. Yeah, I do also need to upgrade or update the sheet. I'll do that tonight. I don't know. I'm debating crashing into the 31st today. Not the 31st. No, that's the weekends. I'm debating crashing into the 5th today and playing an op because I really just feel like playing something on the ground. Is it gonna piss off someone that stabbed me in the back? Probably. Do I care? No. Anyway, let's get coverage of this mission here. I don't know where Dream is. He's not responding to DMs. I hope he's okay. But let's go ahead and get our prediction up for FNF while we're at it. He probably is, but who knows. Yeah, let's set this for 20 minutes and see what we got here. Anyway, this is a continuation of Round 3 from last week, where we saw the Hunt for the Blue October. This is the second mission made by Orthy Oliver. I promised him I would be staying at least till Round 3 to cover this mission, but now it's on Round 1, which means some people liked his stuff. I did too. Now this one's going to be a little more balanced. We've got Op 4 doing a counterattack this time around. Blue 4 have a small spawn south of a frozen lake. And we're going to be in a new area that I haven't actually covered on Fjord yet, because when I was using Fjord for the past 2 years, this northern airstrip was not here. We've gone all the way up here, for example. We had a Stargate op up here. We had some Secret War ops that went all the way up to, I think, up here, actually. And then we had a remaster of the Secret War. Where was that? That was up here, and I built some places around. Stuff the players like, and we'll be continuing to just follow that trend. But regardless, we do have, it mentioned 8 assassination targets. I have no idea how that's going to work out. Actually, I think Orthy messaged me how it's going to work out, so that's a lie. I lied to you. No, he has everything written out for me instead. Okay, but we'll see how things go. Hold assaulted. Ah, I see. So, it's the scuba squad from last mission that's being deployed as the 8 survivors. That is going to be these guys here. So they need to basically get away from Op 4, which are going to immediately try to pursue them to take them out. And then they have to basically hold this position. Oh. And it's a foggy day today. Excellent. That's the sound of T-Far kicking off.
Hello.
There's Malin.
Oh, I should probably have mentioned that fog will clear up.
I think we're going to... Oh, well, we just heard someone say that the fog will clear up. That's good. I'm going to stay in the duo channel just in case Dream shows up late. You never know how he is. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at our mission details. Look at all the assassin targets here. So all the divers, they get motorcycles. That's cute. But that's very interesting to see a set of up to 10. I think it's supposed to be 8 targets there. I'm curious why we have... Okay, and then we have the sector and the terminal. Okay, I see how things are going. How about that? By the end of the safe start time, the fog will clear, and this is, I think, the first round, but they're doing a safe start 15-minute timer, so I guess they just opted to do this one for round 1, because usually the first round they only have a 10-minute timer, but that is quite interesting. You heard your voice? Oh, I have the exact same reaction when I hear mine. God, it makes reviewing my content a little painful sometimes, but I've gotten used to it over the years, but, you know. Regardless, let's go ahead and cover our tasks here. So Blue 4 has a bunch of, basically the 2 sets of 4 divers to cover, and then there's a sector and terminal in one area. Op 4 basically have to assault and kill all those targets, and then go in and take the final terminal. 2 kilometers of render distance, 150 build points for the defenders, fortify colors green, which, I mean, it's white terrain, so there's not really much you can do, right? And then it's a standard 65-minute round. No notes, background, no. Area of operation, weather was steadily clear significantly over the course of 30 minutes. Interesting. Nothing else custom I can see. Let's go ahead and look at Op 4. Op 4 Russian Ratnik winter kit, so white camo scheme, AK-74s. They got the NPZ railing on top, though, so they're going to be using Western optics. Interesting. SVDs for the marksmen, RPKs for the light machine gunners, PKPs for the medium machine gunners, RPG-7s for the light anti-tank. They got gazes, motorcycles, UAZs, BRDMs, and then a single-armed BRDM with that KPVT heavy machine gun. Blue 4, meanwhile, US Rangers with some guys in dive gear. So we've got Scar H's in play. No, based off of the magazine, that's a Scar L. Scar L is 5.56, Scar H is 7.62. Oh, no, I lied to you. That is a slanted mag, but it's the box mag there, so that is a Scar H. Scar H, literally Scar heavy, heavier mag. But regardless, we got Scar H's, so 7.62 for Blue 4. We got some Soap Mod AR platforms. I don't know, I think it's the Mark 18. But with 320 launchers, Mark 11 marksman rifles for the marksmen, M249s for the light machine gunners, AT4s for the light anti-tank, and then M240 Bravos for the medium machine gunners. And they only get 8 motorcycles. That is for the VIPs to try to transport away. Looking over at Op 4, we've got some motorcycles here. We got a few transport vehicles for them to also try to hunt down our 8 VIPs, which appear to be building a ramp up here, maybe to try to get eyes on the terrain. You know, this might be a stretch for me to call it, but this is kind of reminding me of that old OG Call of Duty I think it was like the original Modern Warfare 2 where you're riding on the snowmobiles and you're, you know, driving through territory as everything's going off. That's what this kind of feels like to me, and now I have an inkling to make an op like that. I don't know if Fjord would be good enough. I'd have to do a lot of tree clearing, but you know what? I'm actually going to add that to my list of ops for November because we are going to be getting into snow maps, so give me a second. Let's see. Let me go into my workstation channel here. Remaster the Call of Duty OG MW2 Snow Vehicle Escape. That's going to only be like a quick 30-minute thing, but I don't know. 2 hours of dev work for 30 minutes, that's usually a good rank. Hey, okay. Hold on, I see Penguin's name right there. So I decided to keep the original 2 cheer badges, which is the 100 bits, which means you've given $1, and the 1 bit, which means you've given 1 penny. But anything beyond that, like the $5, no, $10 is the next badge. That all is now tied to lizards, which is why Penguin now has a lizard next to his name. We will eventually change those to goats one day, given a few months when the meme gets stale, but for now, I think that's pretty good. Now, we've got pretty good amount of gear on these guys, but essentially they just have to motorcycle out of here without getting killed, which, I don't know. There's a big drop-off right here, so if they're not careful, they're going to end up arming themselves, but let's look at the main Blue 4 AO here. We have the terminal right up here. They have to get the VIPs into, I think, the sector zone. We've got a bridge with plenty of good cover on it. I do appreciate the Ural transports here. I would say one of the most common questions I get when people ask me mission dev stuff is how to basically add cover to a bridge. And one of the easiest ways is vehicles, but vehicles, even if you disable their sim because they're vehicles and they have a bunch of extra features attached to them, if you spam a lot of vehicles in a mission, it can have some frame performance issues. So one of the best ways to do it instead would be debris. So cargo crates is really good, or having like a boxcar truck with a big fallen cargo crate over. Having some wrecked vehicle textures from the wreck category in Arma 3 is also pretty good. Some trash debris is also really good. Maybe like one of these walls has kind of tipped over because you have a wrecked car hanging off the side. It really just depends on what textures you're using to formulate the bridge. And then you can just add some nice wear and tear. Now, I find it funny that Blue 4 is immediately putting a damn Fortify box on it when the sight lines in here are absolute trash. So this is them just attempting to try to block the bridge, which I don't know if that texture right there is legal because they're not allowed to block ways. Oh, this is how they're justifying it. So they have to then go through this part. Oh, that's super cheeky. That is technically legal, though. Oh, that's funny. All right. Excited for the next updated for Arma 3? Oh, God, are they getting... No, 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 no. No more updates. We're good. The only updates I want is anything that turns any 32-bit processes into 64-bit. We don't need anything else. We don't. Because that's going to break all the mods again for a week, and everyone's going to complain. I'm going to spend 20 hours making missions, and then they're going to break because of the Arma update. No, 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 please. Please. Oh. That's going to be bad. But, I'm curious to see what they bring in. There was a game on Steam, like an old game from, I want to say, 16 years ago. I saw an article where they gave an update to it, and it broke all the mods that have existed for years and years. And they're just like, haha, fuck you. I forget what that game was. It was, I think, Prototype? Yeah, Fallout did one, like, half a year ago. But recently, I think the game Prototype, the first one, got an update. And it broke everything. Now, I know why they're updating Fallout. It's because we're getting the remasters soon. I think I'm allowed to leak that, right? I mean, it should be common knowledge at this point, but there is something called Project Blackjack. And that's the code name for Fallout New Vegas. but it came from the same person that was telling me a few months before Oblivion came out that Oblivion was coming and it was on the verge of being released. I told them, there's no fucking way in hell. And then boom, Shadow dropped. I'm like, oh shit, you're right, okay. And then they gave me a release window over the next few years of when they're remastering Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. And I'm like, damn, why are they doing that? And they're like, Liru, it's obvious. Do you see how popular that Fallout TV show is, despite the questionable changes they've made to canon? Which then again, I mean, it's Fallout. Nothing in that show, nothing in that series makes sense. But might as well capitalize on the hype. So, I'd say enjoy it. What in the hell? What in the Babylon Tower are we building here? This man's gone above 100 meters, and he's falling. Except he's falling out of the render zone. So now he's just infinitely stuck here, as he's going to constantly gain more and more momentum until he eventually hits the ground. But yeah, the day Fallout New Vegas releases, not even the day, the hour Fallout New Vegas Remastered releases, that is what we are going to be streaming for the next week. And then they even hit him with the motorcycle. Isn't that nice? You know, unironically, this is actually a really great way to get proper scouting data around you, is just build a giant ramp that goes up so you can see everything around you and then make a plan on where to drive. I'm just saying, that's pretty good. Need co-op. You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Skyrim co-op is pretty dope, but I don't think Fallout New Vegas needs co-op. That just might be my biased review. I can see why a lot of people would like it, but I actually think co-op would need to be completely rebalanced for something like Fallout New Vegas. Because, like, Skyrim, I can see how you can tailor it to have multiple people playing at once, you know, like Skyrim Together and whatnot. But Fallout New Vegas co-op, I don't know how you'd balance that, because that game is really tailored for a single-player experience, you know? But I could see it happening, but that's just my opinion. So I can't tell if Depso is now breaking down all of these to give 4 to 5 points back to the main group here. We see that Blue 4 have set up a few positions here where they're going to set up some Overwatch, but a big chunk of their infantry is over on this side. I haven't even done announcements yet for player size. Swola's commanding Blue 4. He's got NASA, Eric, Tymek, Kremet, Cheeseburger, Depso, Tackleberry, and Ash together under Alpha. That's the HVT squad that's coming back. Bravo has Naf, Settler, Rizbo, Krana, and Pogo _. Charlie has, I don't even know what to say that is, Gouliat, Leziak, Owo, Darkness. And Foxtrot has Vander, Huge, Pogrom, Wiki, Quartz, Skipu, and Krasovsky. Jesse commanding Op 4 with Nemesis leading Alpha with Cats, Puma, Dobbs, Wise, Whiplash, Nekomata, and Iander. Fonz leading Bravo with Henry, Curie, Ryan, Goose, Fancy, and Green Thumb. Charlie has Bates leading Banks, Brown, Gates, Alligator Lover, Gravamil, and Norris. Echo has Sergio, Mantino, and Chami together. 4 to 5 points are per person, FNF, not global. I did not know that. I thought it was a shared pool. Was that always a thing? Because I guess I've been wrong this entire time. Crazy how that works. I love how Depso almost slipped off and then he quickly saved himself. Since like 2019? I never knew that. Well, now we know. I mean, okay, there was a funny clip from last week. I don't think I actually put it in the highlight, which I'm smacking myself for now. But when they blew up the radio tower and the admin deleted all the planks that were on top of the radio tower to make those 2 people fall and kill themselves, that was pretty funny. Anyway, I will be right back 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, coming in 3 seconds. Let's see how these guys go. Orthy, if you can hear me, I just want to say I appreciate you for making some really cool custom stuff and bringing it to FNF. Got one guy going the wrong way. He's now turned around. Uh-oh. Ash broke his wheels. There goes Tackleberry. Oh, no! Oh, no! NASA's also down. Oh, he gets lunged off! Oh, I think he's dead! No, he just does some judo bullshit and recovers on the ground immediately. And then, hold on, you got one HVT that's gone completely off course. What? Looks like Eric got lost. But Op4 doesn't seem to want to pursue. All right, so it looks like a good chunk of these guys have gotten out. Some of them have gotten on top of others' motorcycles. One motorcycle I just heard explode somewhere. But none of them have died yet. Timek trying to get on. Oh, I definitely need to turn this into an op concept, where if you wreck the motorcycle, there's a place where you can go and grab another one. And it looks like this one guy just got shot. Eric got knocked, I think, by Op4 Command HQ here, Jesse. And that made him fall over, so I think Jesse's going to run back to double tap. Looks like the marksman is trying to open up on Timek here, who's now running on foot. All right, the marksman has been assassinated, so that was Eric in the back line. Not all Blue 4 members are going to make it here. Look at this, though. Charlie is using the amphibious power of the BRDM to go into the northern frigid water here and try to make an outflanking action. That's going to take a long while for it to basically get into position. You have to remember, Op4 have live markers on all of these VIPs until they get into the yellow zone right here. So they're able to actively track where they are, but you see where Blue 4 sent some forces up to try to set up ambushes for Op4. You got Harana here trying to fight a 2v1, unable to get a kill there. You got Pogo trying to use that Scar H to get a kill on any of the Op4 here, but he is unable to. And it looks like one VIP has made it into the sector to capture that area, so that's going to start upticking. I think that's a 20-minute timer, so if Blue 4 hold that zone for 20 minutes, they win by default. So I see why they made this into the quicker round. It's basically because it can be finished very quickly within that 20-minute timer, essentially. Little bit of confusion here being caused by Pogo. We have an Op4 member that was just picked off. Looks like that was by Settler here. Could probably get in a headshot with that Scar H. That heavier caliber with 7.6251 will do some pretty significant damage. Norris knocks out Pogo underscore. We see a follow-up grenade, but Pogo has ended up in a little ditch, so he's going to be immune to those grenades. Now Op4 need this team to basically assault this position before Blue 4 can get the 1,000 points. So Blue 4 are being very risky to throw a lot of forces out here to stall the northern attack, but, or excuse me, the southern attack, but the northern attack is the most important part to kind of seal the deal. Kremet has been hunted down and shot by a few Op4 marauders here. These guys can also continue to pursue and bypass the northern defensive line, get right on top of the objective, but there's the machine gunner. There are now 6 VIPs remaining. Some have already made it to the zone. Some are still moving on foot or on vehicles. So Not bad. The light anti-tank gunner was just taken out. I don't know where he was, but we see the symbol starting to disappear. So we're down to 5 VIPs now. We see the 3 in there and then 2 additional running in. Interesting. Fancy's now moving ahead. We see Op 4. I think this is Command bringing up a few additional players here. They want to try to bypass this pretty significant Blue 4 defensive line here. It's hard for me to see the point counter there. I think that's at 140. So it's at 14% and growing. Settler, if he wants to make a move, he's got a very limited angle to do it. He does have the demo spec, so does he have explosive charges? He immediately throws a grenade that gets right in front of... Oh, they noticed last second. That knocks out Martino. Surprised Settler doesn't have charges. More grenades going out. That even gets Jesse. Settler now coming up. Is he going to spot Goose as he tries to run? Vehicle cooks off. Really great play by Settler here. See some double tapping shots. Settler now takes fire as Goose blindly sprays. Settler returns fire with a blind spray of his own. Jesse wakes back up. Both of those vehicles destroyed. And that has pretty much nullified OpForce transport in this zone. So even if Settler were to die right now, which he does, OpFor now doesn't have a fast way to get into the sector area to the north and is essentially cut off. It's going to take OpFor a bit of time to lick their wounds and push forward. That is going to allow for Blue 4 to take out this northern OpFor element with no support from the south, coming to OpFor's rescue, and then they might be able to pull back and hold as we have a little bit of OpFor still bypassing, but it's not a lot. So this is going to keep OpFor very separated. And Blue 4, even though OpFor have the number advantage, Blue 4 stand at the best possible chance to win this scenario. It's going to still fall to the PvP at the end of the day, but small group here fighting small group here, relatively even-sized groups. I would say OpFor have a little bit more, but we just saw Gouliak get a single kill on the opening barrage there. OpFor have the high ground, so tactically they are in a superior position. Now, Rizbo might spot Fonz right here. Fonz might be busy on the radio or the map. Rizbo does have a 240. Rizbo, what are you doing? That was almost embarrassing. I was kind of expecting Fonz to turn around and snapshot him, but okay. All right. Curie is uncon over here. Blue 4 cleaned up some of those OpFor players, though we did have Curie just wake back up. So I think T stabilized him. Blue 4 now, after getting a few kills, quickly pulling back. That's a good call to make because I think there's a risk of them getting cut off over here. So it makes sense to me. Blue 4 at 30% of the capture goal here, unless that's a 9, but it looks like a 0 to me. So OpFor still have time to push Blue 4 out of this position. And now you're starting to see OpFor players from that far southern area starting to trickle in because they have no transport, but Blue 4 is ordering all forces back. So you're going to see some intermingling between OpFor and Blue 4 stragglers heading north, and then the main fight's going to be right here. Now we see Katz with a marksman rifle. He might be able to get a good position here to get some pickoffs, but he was immediately being suppressed when he went up there. You're fine, Malin. There's no rush. I can make it work. So Swola still suppressing that area with Tracer rounds specifically to try to ward off anyone from being a marksman up there. So the only armored vehicle we have in play at 14 is a BRDM with a KPVT heavy machine gun. And that has slowly been driving around. I think that's OpFor's trump card to either assault the back line or potentially deploy 2 troops because it's +3, which means you have Bates and then 3 other people in here. We see that it's got part of Charlie's squad. So that might just be a rear assault element that's going to try to eliminate stuff. And then we have NASA. I don't know if that's legal because he can literally just drive out here and do nothing. And since he is tied to the objectives, he could technically just go underwater and not be killable. So I wonder if Malin is going to step in as the admin to try to correct that. Anyway, we got some light firing over here. Kiri is, he's up a kill. And he's got some blue 4 around him. He's trying to open up with some grenades. No. NASA isn't an admin here. That's OFCRA, he's an admin. Pilgrim comes up and sprays the side of Kiri with that 249. Rizbo accidentally blue on bluing here with some confusion, so he's now going to be at 0 kills. Nope. Okay, he's at 1. So he's gotten 2 op 4 kills and 1 blue 4 kill. A little bit of confusion there. I guess if he technically stays on the surface, maybe the BRDM can hunt him down, but I don't know. That seems like a little bit of a cheap call there. He'll get taken out. Yeah, okay, so the BRDM will then have to pretty much stalk him off of the map. Which is annoying, though, because the BRDM, I think, was trying to either sneak around or, you know, go on the area right there. But what's quicker, an infantryman or a BRDM? Why the hell no tanks? FNF usually specializes in infantry combat F14. If you want armored combat, I highly recommend you come and see Thursdays. At this same time, where we cover another group called OFCRA, they usually, I mean, yesterday, for example, they had a faction with 3 BTR-80 Alphas and 3 BTR-80s. So 3 autocannon vehicles with that 20, I think it's 20 millimeter for BTR-80 Alphas, but feel free to correct me. Blue 4 only had 50 cals, but Blue 4 still won because there were some crazy ambushes Blue 4 pulled to pull the rug out from the attacking faction Op 4. If you want tanks, I think the next major tank PvP is going to be on the 25th of October. That's going to be another FNF War Games. However, it's going to be FNF, which is the Friday community that we're covering right now, fighting OFCRA, which is the Thursday community. 25th, I think, at noon Eastern Standard Time, which would be 3 hours and 44 minutes before now. But last FNF War Games, it was about 44 tanks versus 44 tanks. US versus Russia, and the Russian side absolutely dominated. Because it wasn't just tanks, it was also Bradleys, BMP-2s, tow launchers, Cormets. It was pretty brutal. The OP4 ambushes alone were nuts. An OP4 sapper team stole a Blue 4, what was it, an Abrams, and then used that Abrams to kill 4 other Abrams before Blue 4 even realized what was going on. It was nuts. Pretty funny, though. All right, we just saw an AT round come into this transport BRDM here. That was probably done by Blue 4. Op 4 using that transport to get up here, but now they're separating. Naf's trying to come up to capitalize, but he gets immediately shot through a random spray by Green Thumb. And now we're seeing this Op 4 group sweeping the rest of the Blue 4 elements here. We do have Henry and Fancy nearby where Rizbo is. He does hear that SVD, so he is looking. Full player crew, not AI? Yes. So, hold on. Rizbo's about to get a nice double kill here. Yep. Go for the far one first, and then hit the closer one. He also noticed that the PKP was a bigger threat than the SVD. So, beautiful double kill there by Rizbo. Back on 3, but we see that he's got 4 kills for Op 4 and then 1 friendly fire kill, which is why he's on the 3. Yes, Super. These are... War Games usually has around 120 to 130 players. OFCRA usually has about 130 to up to 210 players. 2 weeks ago, we saw 210. FNF is usually around the 50 to 60 player mark at the moment, but we can do a check after this round ends and the next round begins. Checking the Blue 4 tally, they're at 64% out of the 1,000, so Op 4 needs to start capitalizing on that AO. You also see the BRDM going out because they need to try to hunt down NASA, but NASA's getting... Hold on. We were going to the third-person camera and then look at NASA. Okay. So this BRDM is slowly getting closer to NASA, but NASA's going to run out of room to swim here. So that's a very long game of cat and mouse. But yes, all the PvP I cover F14 is done by real players. If you want AI stuff, that's my standard stuff with Zeusing, but we do that pretty much every other day. But Thursdays and Fridays, those are the main PvP days, and then occasionally... on Saturdays or Sundays, we have the bigger events that usually focus on more armor. If you want to keep track of that, type !schedule, and you'll be shown the general stream schedule for everything. All right. So Grishowski here with Rizbo are trying to stall the Op4 players down here, and they've done a good job. I mean, it's down to 4 Op4 players here with 3 Blue 4. Some Op4 are trying to bypass to get into here, but now Op4 is starting to lose that number advantage. This is so dumb, but I love it. Norris gets a kill on another Blue 4 player. I think that was Rizbo up there, because I don't see him anymore. Norris now on 3. Grishowski being the only Blue 4 guy still here. There was another guy, but he got taken out. But this is stalling Op4's ability to maneuver on this final objective here, which is at 76%. Yes, by the distraction with the... Well, the VRDM's the only thing that could go out and get him. So Vanderhooge is on 2 kills. I think he just picked off an Op4 guy right here. I'm pretty sure that was Katz, because he was the marksman for this team. Yep. And now Op4 are trying to swim across. So NASA's... no, excuse me. Wise is distracting by putting GLs on the bridge. Puma's trying to swim up in the back. Emil, meanwhile, coming in. But F14, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. This is the first round, dumb reject. Got some RPGs coming in play. So BRDM just giving a quick check here. They are within 400 meters of the HVT. And NASA doesn't realize there's a BRDM tracking him. So I think the BRDM is trying to predict where he's moving because they have this red marker on the map. So it's trying to now plot an intercept course for NASA. My question is, does the gunner have the gun depression within all of these waves to even engage? Because these waves are pretty treacherous at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that. But that all might be for naught if Blue 4 is able to capture this zone, which is at the 87%, now 88% marker. I can't tell if Wise pulled back or got killed. Looks like Wise got killed off on the bridge here. Puma's still swimming under it. It's gonna be up to Emil here to knock this out. Orthy, do Blue 4 automatically win if they get this sector point filled, or how does that work? Oh, they also... Okay, so there's a second part that's tied to this. All right. I see. So after they complete the sector, then they have to run up to the terminal and do something else. So it's not an instant game over victory for Blue 4. All right. I like that. Which is why the terminal is set to inactive. Giving Op4 more time to maneuver in. Wow, look at this. Banks with an SVD on the super wavy waters, trying to line up a shot on NASA. Can he do it with these treacherous waters? He's accidentally fallen underwater because of the waves. I think next time what would have been better, Orthy, is if you gave Op4 an RHIB with a 50 cal. NASA takes shots and immediately starts to drive away. They need to load up in the BRDM and essentially run him over. And drown him. So now you got that game of cat and mouse going. Looks like Emil... Nope, we have a Blue 4 body over here, but Op 4 had Emil. I don't see where he went, though. But now you got Op4 just kind of trickling in here. Terminal should now go active in a moment. Got a few more Op4 coming up. As Dobbs is pursuing the bridge, Puma still swimming. You know what would have been really cheeky is if Op4 put a few mines on this as well. That would have been pretty evil. So it's counting Op4 as not completing that sector area. I'm waiting to see if that terminal becomes active. So Cheeseburger's shooting at Puma. Dobbs gets a beautiful grenade throw over. It is a 2-minute terminal interaction now. Depso in a 1v1 with Norris. A blind grenade goes up. It's too far. Team leader has been assassinated. That is one of those remaining VIPs. I think there are now 3 VIPs remaining. Beautiful grenade throw, but Depso notices it and runs the other way. Norris gets flanked and taken out. Beautiful shot by Despo going aggressive right there at the last second. Still have 2 other Op4 players coming in. And the BRDM is now pursuing as NASA swims away. We still have 2 additional groups of 2 Op4 coming in. 1 Blue 4 guy marauding along the rear. Massive amount of explosives just went off on the southern side. I don't know if that got anybody, though. So you have the BRDM now trying to snipe with a PKT. That's the secondary turret on the KPVT. That's a 7.62x54 machine gun. I'd classify that as a medium caliber, but yeah, the waves are making it incredibly difficult to aim that machine gun. I think an RHIB with a 50 cal on some seats that you could turn out and shoot from, like the vanilla RHIB, would have been better. Because with that boat, they could have also run over the person and forced them to drown. Beautiful RPG shot by Goose. That gets a kill on Blue 4. Wasn't any of the VIPs, but that was a marksman. So it looks like Puma tried to make it up here and was killed off. I don't know where his body is, but Dobbs is now slowly breaching. Molino tries to get a kill on Dobbs. Dobbs also dodging a GL. Looks like Darkness got a kill on Goose, who was that AT gunner. Hold on. Look at that. The BRDM actually got NASA with the spray. NASA, though, wakes back up. Will he drown is the real question. Op4 are going to know he's still alive because the marker is still active. They also get a notification if he dies. Terminal has finished. Helicopter has spawned. If the VIPs are able to get into this helicopter, it is GG, I believe. Ash running around. He's staying on the side. Nope, it's called now as a Blue 4 win because the terminal was completed. Helicopter. Okay, so this is just flavor. I think it would have been really, really cool if Blue 4 had to get into that helicopter and then pull away to a final capture zone somewhere or like over the water, and if that helicopter was able to be taken out. I would have set it to Blue 4, then had to at least get in the helicopter. You can set the helicopter to invincible and the pilots to invincible, but anyone that gets in the helicopter can still be mag dumped. I think that would have been a cool final part, but this is really making it feel like, you know, a multi-tiered operation. I'd love to see more of this, Orthy. I think the only criticism I have is give Op4 another vehicle that can hunt these guys down that swim in the water like this, or just ban Blue 4 from swimming in the water. I think that would be an easier step because I think the BRDM would have been better suited if it was directly supporting the assault. That allowed for too much of Op4 to divide, and it gave it a little more to Blue 4's favor. But this is probably one of the most diverse scenarios I've seen in FNF in a hot second. I'd love to see more from you. Very nice. If you need someone to bounce ideas with, feel free to come DM me. After what I've seen here, more than happy to help you. Because I've been wanting to see this for a while. But when I tried, I got the runaround from some admins that are no longer admins in FNF, so but I'm too busy to now plan it myself. But anyway, Orthy, have a good one, broski. Blue 4 won that round. I think, again, what really stalled Blue or Op4 out was Settler demoing those 2 trucks and causing the southern group of Op4 to then walk up on foot, run into stragglers, and they were never able to regroup with the northern group. And that's what caused Op4 to instead stagger forces in, and even though Op4 had the number advantage, Blue 4 was able to basically defeat Op4 in detail there. Give me a second. All right, that's fair enough. Alright, I got Revi telling me when Echoes Manufactorum goes back on the workshop so I can make the 31st scenarios. What do you guys think? Should I go play as a guardsman in a 40k scenario in an hour and a half, or should I keep covering FNF? Because I've got like a 2-hour chunk of time today between the potential DayZ and the end of what could be FNF. And I want to know what you guys would want to see. Hell, do I have a moderator on? That's something I really need to fix. Is getting more active moderators that are, you know, for some of the streams that aren't always around. Zagorsk Trud, blah. Go meet Slaneshi. Anyway, this is round 2, where... What do we got? Blue 4 is attacking an Op4 cache and terminal sites. Blue 4 has... Here, F14. You finally have your vehicles now. An LAV-25. An M1117. And transport, while Op4 has 2 BMP3s and transport. The map is again going to be Zagorsk, but it's one of the 4 sectors. Because you have the massive map that is Zagorsk. I think it's a 20 by 20, and then because it's a massive cityscape, the maker of Zagorsk divided it into 4 10 by 10 maps. And I think Trud here is one of those divides. One of those subsectors, if you could call it that. I'm going to play Walk in the Park. I'm bored. Haven't heard that in a while. Usually been doing Blow It Up from Red Alert 2's soundtrack, but let's get it varied again. Here, since I have a second, let me see if I can set it myself. No additional votes. We'll set it for 10 minutes. There. Help me out here, guys. Are we doing more FNF or... Yes, we're going to be doing DayZ. So, Ian, the thing is, Razor can't do DayZ till 7:30 Eastern Standard. And the 40k op would be 5:30 to 7:30. So it perfectly fits in our schedule. The one caveat is that's Vix's community. She hates me now. What are you debating, Ian? What's up? Mainly vehicles. Oh, for FNF? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, F&F, the vehicles are so underused all the damn time. Oh, to work? Oh. Well, Ian, do you get a choice? I don't get a choice. Damn, I want Ian's job now. I can just wake up and go, bro, I don't want to work today. Hell yeah. Ian, are they hiring? Goddamn. Here, I'll be right back again. 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, cool. Oh, and I got a bit of tea left, cool. Let's see. Amazon warehouse. Oh, my buddy Dante worked at an Amazon warehouse for... Actually, I know quite a few people that have worked at an Amazon warehouse. I think Amazon warehouse is one of the most common jobs in the United States, based off of statistics alone, but that job is grueling. A lot of physical labor there. And not everyone is built for that, you know? But you gotta be careful, because if you accidentally get in one of the machines' way and get injured, it's always your fault, apparently. But, But regardless, networking, to give you a quick TLDR, Vix and I were good friends since 2020. We first met at the at CCO6, which was the one reason why I dislike playing Arma 3 PvP and I will never command it again. That's its own story. But 2 months ago, we had a bit of a falling out, and we're apparently no longer on speaking terms. That's her decision to make. I don't care. She's basically gone down a massive left-wing political rabbit hole, and now is on the idea of, if you are also not down that left-wing political rabbit hole with me, then you are not my friend. And it's like, okay. So if you're more in the center, or you're not, like, that's what bugs me the most about it. We have very similar politics, but with people like that, if you don't agree with like 110% of what they do, they drop you. And it's like, damn. By the way, the Mass Effect community is dead? Yes. Yeah, so that's something else she killed. After she literally... Hold on. That's what really fucking pisses me off the most about it, is I can get stabbed in the back. I've been stabbed in the back multiple times doing this job. It's fine. People make those decisions all the time. It's whatever. What bugs me the most is how she literally pulled me into a Mass Effect community and then schism that Mass Effect community to make her own with a bunch of people. And then when her and I got into a disagreement because I thought she was being a bit too harsh squad leading, which I'm going to be honest, we've done all the damn time. I just say, hey, I think you're being a little too aggressive with people. Let's just, be a little more casual because this was it's meant to be a casual unit. She jumps down my fucking throat over it and makes all of these threats. And I'm like, what the fuck? That should have been the writing on the wall, because a few weeks later, that's when we had that, massive argument. I wouldn't even call it a massive argument. It was her basically just blaming me for a bunch of things, and I'm like, what? So, I don't know. Like, that fallout, there was writing on the wall, and I didn't look into it because she was one of my closest friends. So it's like, damn. I guess I need to reevaluate my life choices at that point, but it is what it is. You can't control other people. I've moved on. But I'm still going to go play in her community because there's a bunch of other people in there I'm super chill with. Shepard, for example, mutual friend of ours. I went and saw an air show with him last week. It was dope as shit. But I got a bunch of friends in there, so I'm going to finally stop being scared to piss her off and instead just go live my life, because fuck it. Now, let's cover some goddamn FNF. Let me look at the poll here. Most of you are saying go play the op, so we'll go play the op after we cover round 2. Anyway, let me set up a prediction here. It's another blue 4 versus op 4. I'll set it to 15 minutes. Let's have fun. All right, so quickly covering things here, and then I'll read chat again. Blue 4 is going to be... Is it blue 4 defending? No, it's op 4 defending. That's still bugged. Okay, that's why. So we'll go to op 4 here to defending an ammo cache and a terminal site. Briefing here is 1,500 meters of render distance, only 85 build points for the defenders, so I guess that's per player. Color's green, it's a 65-minute round. We have a 15-minute save start timer. Cool. Notes, both Mike teams have a single HE rocket, and teal is a body of water. Which I guess is this, so they've got it marked, but that's out of the game, so it doesn't really matter. All right. Anything else? Mission rules. Don't build on top of buildings taller than other existing buildings. The only exception is one layer of sandbags, basically, so they can't, camp a really tall building, because it's very difficult to assault those. Blue 4 are German Bundeswehr kits, so we got G36s, Mark 11s, Mini-Me's, regular G36 rifles, AT4s, MG3s, Carl Gustavs, and MP7s. We've got some transport trucks, some Humvees, a 117, which is rescripted with some autocannon AP instead of the GMG, which is the grenade machine gun. They got some MRZR transports. Usually this is for the Mike team to go around and try to hunt the enemy vehicles. And then we have an LAV, which also has that 25mm cannon. Op 4, meanwhile, are going to be Russian Cossack kits. So we got AK-74s, some with GP-25s, SVDs, RPKs, RPG-7s, PKPs, RPG-32s for the Mike team, and PP-2000s for the vehicle crews. They've got 2 transport gases and 2 BMP-3s, which also have those front hull gunner slots, which are the PKTs. So a lot of machine guns and firepowers on the BMP-3s. Just have to see how the rest of this plays out. The second community is also dead? Yeah, I figured as much. All right, so Blue 4, we got Emil commanding. Norris is leading Alpha with Gates, Banks. Gates, Banks, Bates. That took me a second to process. Zoop, Brown, and Grav. Audrey Sip leading Charlotte Defraud. Gerald, Fast Sugar, Gregory, Settler, and Wajtek. NASA leading Delta with Kremet, Rizbo, Cheeseburger, and Pogo_Goose leading Mike with Henry T, Fonz, and Ryan. Skip, Ugrasowski, and Pogrom taking one of the vehicle crews. That's going to be the LAV-25. Tymic and Depso taking the 117. Orthy Oliver leading Op 4 with Dobbs taking Bravo with Tackleberry, Ash, Nekomata, Green Thumb, and Fancy. The symbolism here leading for Goose Liat, Leziak, OOC, Darkness, and Batty. That's under Charlie. Echo being led by Sergio, Chambi, and Martino as a team of 3. Foxtrot has Spinks, Vanderhughes, and BG, excuse me. Mike being led by Jesse with Iander as the AT gunner, and Wise and Whiplash being the assistant. So they got 6 AT rockets and 1 HE rocket. Nemesis and Malin taking 1 BMP-3, Swola and Harna taking the other BMP-3. Looking at this AO, it's just a big forest and then a big urban area here. And the objectives themselves, you've got the destroy objective in this yellow area, so it can be any of these 3 buildings. And then the terminal is accurately marked. This is just going to be urban fighting, so vehicles aren't going to be the most effective in urban CQC because they're closer to buildings which can have enemy garrisons that immediately blow them up. But, I mean, Blue 4 have a lot of potential maneuver routes to get into this AO. They could literally attack this from any side. So, Op 4 are going to be forced to have a closer defensive group, and, I mean, this just sucks to defend. I'm not going to lie. Because, again, there's no capitalize on any obvious kill zones. This is literally going to be a game of send your 2 BMP3s out, hope you get lucky, and if you don't, pull them back when the main attack happens. Try to attack your opponent from the rear and pick up kills as the infantry struggle to defend this large AO. That's all. Like, this one's a total crapshoot, guys. I have no idea where you'd want to bet this. Looks like an admin's driving in with a car, though. It's a Volvo. I don't think... No, that's a... you know, I don't know what car that is. Forget the word I just said. I don't think that's correct. Let's just go for drinks? Hell yeah. As someone who lives in Oregon, I've got multiple friends that live in Oregon, actually, and even Portland. The memes that they have sent me are glorious. What the fuck? Where did it go? Or did he just immediately ragdoll back? That, I don't even know. It's a lot of, yeah, that's it. Why'd I say full? Yes, this is the admin. So I think this is Malin on duty right now, because FNF is now his, essentially. Labadie's nuts. Got him. Alright, safe zone's dropping in 5 minutes. I really don't have anything else to tell you guys. Like, this is just a total crapshoot. Now he's driving away. I think he's just driving to, now watch this. He's gonna magically disappear. I had that down to the second. I had that down to the fucking second. Ain't that funny? Oh, hold on. So I'm not doing any 40K work at the moment until Echo's Manufactorum comes back up on the workshop this weekend. Pointless for me to try to open any mission file defaults I have that have the stuff on it, because then it's going to force me to load it without, and I'm going to lose all that progress on my templates, and I don't feel like doing that when I know the mod's coming back. Once that mod comes back, there are 2 other 40K missions I'm going to work on before I work on the 700th one, and then once that is in a position where I can give you an op board setup, I'll give you all the information you need for that op board, period. I appreciate your work nonetheless. Sorry, that's for a client. And then the Devourer King got back to me when I asked him if there's a Duolingo texture for a character in Arma 3, and he's like, what, you want something that auto-translates? I'm like, no, I mean the actual bird. I want to beat people up for not learning Spanish. Come on, isn't that how it goes? Spanish or vanish? What are these, what are the other Duolingo terms if you don't do your specific class? Yeah, Devourer's a good guy. He gets a lot of shit. He doesn't deserve all of it. He deserves a little bit of it. There are times where he has caused a few things, but that's in the past. But that's the same with everybody. I know everybody's shit. Yet I still try to be friends with almost everyone. Almost everyone. Anyway. Do your class or I'll beat your ass. Yes! Yeah, no, the Gears of War op was perfect. I know there were a few crashes here and there, but that was within the threshold of average amount of people for any modded Arma 3 game crashing. Like, I ran an SOG Prairie... it wasn't SOG. The Fellowship off was based off of a Vietnam mod set using the CDLC, and we still had a person crash here and there. It's Arma 3. It's a modded game. It's going to crash. That's just how it is. German or vermin. When SOG? I don't know. There's like 4 campaigns I have to work on right now. Suspect flew an Apache helicopter to it. Oh, toilet. Don't. That is a funny thought, though. There is someone with access to an Apache helicopter that dislikes me, so I do have to be a little bit careful. Oh, and they know where I live. That's the worst part. I'm just going to wake up one day, look out at the Dulles airspace while they're doing their yearly drill, and there's going to be a little dot that slowly gets bigger and bigger. I'm going to go like, huh, is that an Apache out there? Oh, shit. So this is what it feels like to be a dirt farmer in the Middle East.
Send in Goat Team 6 now.
I don't think I can legally acquire a Stinger launcher, and I'm going to be honest, if I were to try, I think the U.S. government would get the wrong idea, because I live right next to Dulles Airport. So if they see that I'm buying a Stinger, I think they're going to question my motives. You know? Ketchup, thanks for the 35-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the ops. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Can't Bloodwing get you one? That's besides the point. You can get a Milsurp deactivated one? How am I supposed to defeat an Apache helicopter with a deactivated one? It's just a self-defense Stinger. Reactivate it. Can you do that? I have a feeling if I try to look that up, I'm going to end up on a list. So, you know, probably not. All right, Op 4 have started with leaving with the 2 BMP3s from the main AO here. We also have 2 Gazes taking some smaller teams out. Mike is going north. They're all in one. So who's the team in this one? That is Foxtrot, a 3-man team to act as a picket group. They're heading south. Blue 4, meanwhile, it looks like they're moving a majority of their forces in this direction. I'm looking over here to see if they had a bit of an issue. Nope, they just are keeping some forces staggered. So I guess they don't want all their forces in the same column going. But look at the placement of these forces here. That's a little worrisome. Maybe Op 4 got into Blue 4's head. And look, Malin's found another thing to do. How did you get the boat in here? I think the boat's a little too big for that pond. You just got on the list? I've been on that list for way too long, broski. Let's be honest here. I mean, a couple hours ago, I was looking to buying into a down Shaheed for a uni project. What do you need a Shaheed 136 for a university project? And Axel, what university? Make me jealous. I think I went to the wrong one if you can get those for your university projects. Oh, that's funny. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, you want to put any final bets down? This might be your opportunity, because it looks like the poll is still alive. Uh-oh. Seeker, I will DM you the menu when it's ready to go. It's going to be in the late evening, but I'm sure you will find that menu enjoyable. Let me know if there's anything custom you want on that menu too, and I will definitely work with you to put it on the menu. Please DM me at any time. I think the Humvees saw it last second. Maybe the LAV was alerted. It was! And the BMP-3 is instantly sniped. The entirety of the crew is dead in there, by the way. The AP rounds immediately tore it apart. Do lawyers count as custom? Do you want weaponized lawyers in the Congo? LAV taking some heavy damage. The gun might have gotten disabled because it's not trying to fire. Gun might be stuck. So BMP is pursuing. And the LAV just baited the BMP by doing the good old circle tactic and drive away. But Mike is nearby. That's Blue 4AT. They missed. But hold up, you've got Op 4AT now. Firing at some targets here. More cook-off from that BMP-3. Wise, one of the Op 4AT assistants, was taken out. As this is where Blue 4 appears to be sending its primary force. We have a secondary force coming south. You fired the old one, he got stuck? Gotcha. Well, Seeker, DM me a list of things you want, and I will personally work them in the schedule tonight. How does that sound? LAV is now dismounted. It is trying to repair the vehicle. This BMP-3 still circling around. It's looking for the LAV, not realizing the LAV just literally drove in circles and then went forward as soon as they saw it. Pretty crafty tactic. It's an embedded system project, and he asked for drones, so you're buying a Shaheed 136. I mean, absolute power play. Make sure it's disarmed before you bring it to class. Just came home from 4 hours of lightsaber training. Okay, young Padawan, go rest. Unless that's a euphemism, in which case also go rest. Yes, the lizards have turned out very well, Wolfie. Thank you. I mean, shit. Not that you were doing them or anything. Damn it. Lizard. Yeah, don't worry. Y'all will have your day tonight in the DayZ stream to break my sanity. You already got 15 DMs from people asking for lizards? Hell yeah. All right, at least it's good business. I see. That was all part of your master plan. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I need emote idea. Emote. It's because I'm so used to saying the word emu. Oh my god. I need emote ideas and animated emote ideas. So if you have one, please DM me. And we can get them within a week, maybe. Uh-oh. Well, that guy's dead. Poor T. Kinda just got blown away. Yeah, we need an emu. Yeah, we need to add that to the list, don't we? Ryan's trying to jump through the window as the BMP's opening up on him. Got Op 4 Mike also coming around. The LAV trying to come to the rescue of that Mike team, but we see the BMP-3 is already getting out of here. the LAV is booking it over, but we do see the Op4 Mike team trying to set up. I don't know if they caught a glimpse of the LAV. AT gunners are setting up. I don't think they realized that that's the friendly BMP. They just saw it and realized, but now they might be able to line up a shot on the LAV. For the emote ideas, DM me. It'll be quicker if you DM me. Because I'm not going to remember after all the streaming today. Oh, can Iander make this quick shot? No, he just lost the angle. But the BMP is turning around. BMP dead in the water. BMP disabled, blindly firing now. LAV might have had its gun disabled. LAV driving back into the line of fire. LAV gun is disabled. BMP, I think, panic repaired its gun. And now you've got grenades being thrown on the crew as they're trying to dismount and repair it. So Grosovsky tries to get out to do a panic repair. You know, a tank flying up in the air, like tipping sideways, that wouldn't be a bad Arma emote to capitalize on Arma events. That wouldn't be a bad call. Wow. Harna wins a 2v1 and only goes uncon for it. That's pretty incredible, not gonna lie. How'd they manage that? Don't know. You know what'd be really funny is if Mike team dismounted and blew up the vehicle and it killed Harna. I hope they don't, but that'd be funny. Let's see if they identify the PP2000 firing. So I think Harna's going to try to get eyes on and friendly wiggle. Uh-oh. They're getting in the vehicles now. I mean, you see the dead blue 4 next to it. I just don't know if these guys are going to PID it, but it looks like Iander's being sent back for the vehicle. I think they've established that this is a friendly area here. Wolfie, it's like like any vehicle we can choose, and like it's like flying upwards or something. I don't know. Like I'll work with you later on that front. But you know, an Arma incident where it's like, you know, flying off or something. Yeah, so they're checking the bodies. They're seeing they're all dead. So friendly's now running up. They're talking. Now, Op4 may have won that battle, but the main fight is for this objective here. We see a pincer being deployed on this objective here. Blue 4, we still have a few guys back here. This is their Mike team. Looks like they're fixing a wheel because they broke something. Maybe they hit a tree. But even though Op4 have won that little skirmish, now we got to worry about this. We just saw a spray by an Op4 defender going to the Blue 4 assault wave here. Second Blue 4 assault coming in as well from the other side. Yes, the decent gods of Arma. Alright, so what's interesting here is 2 Blue 4 guys have actually been knocked out from that machine gun spray. That's Batty with a PKP, and that's pretty impressive because these shots were at 530 and 58 meters. Huh. to wait and see. So Op4 now making a battle line between these two forces to assault the objectives from the west. We see an Op4 two-man patrol now coming under fire as Blue 4 have started garrisoning. They also have the 1117 with them, which has both the 50 cal and the 20mm autocannon. We see Watchtech coming around the side using that MG3 to take out Nekomata. He's not dead yet. Now you got the 1117 coming up. And it's going to start spraying that autocannon in this building that is making fancy route here.
So let's give him a warm welcome, shall we?
NASA now starting to check the buildings where the cache itself is in. So he's infiltrated into the zone here. And Op4 just don't have enough defenders here to line things up. Got the admin working with some Op4 guys over here. For what reason, I don't know. But Op4 don't have a good defensive line to the west, and it's allowing for Blue 4 to get practically right on top of the objectives here. But as I said earlier, this would be a total crapshoot of whether or not Op4 could just catch Blue 4 out in the open. And it looks like that's not going to be the case. So, Blue 4 have checked one of the three buildings where the cache can be in, so it's either in this one or the other one. So they've completed 33% of that search objective. I wouldn't say it's GG just yet. Op4 can quickly turn all their forces around, and they still have the manpower to fight off Blue 4, but with it being an urban environment, even if you have the number advantage, that can turn very quickly. It's usually favoring the defenders. But the attackers always have things like vehicles and satchels that can negate some pretty hefty defender advantages. Grenade goes out. We just saw Cheeseburger get clapped by an SVD by Tackleberry. Could wake back up, though. Looks like that one Op4 guy that was here. Nope, Watchtech died. All right. 1117 pushing up, though. It can now use its 20mm to suppress the shit out of people on the roof here. Looks like it doesn't have a 50 cal. It actually only has the 7.62. So it's a medium machine gun instead of a heavy machine gun. Have some suppression going out here. Looks like Cheeseburger was able to wake up and pull away. Satchel's being thrown on this building. It was ineffective at destroying it, though. We do have a dead Blue 4 guy in here, though. We have a second wave of Blue 4 elements trying to come in. Op4 sending a few forces around to try to cut those forces off. Don't know if that is to try to hit this group or if they're just lost. I think it's more so the latter. What we do need to see is another Blue 4 element come from the east and try to hit the other objective because this Blue 4 group is so close. See some fire going out on Watchtech here. He is killed off. Watchtech was the shooter. I don't know who the Op4 guy was then. So that's taken out by Batty, who's on 3 kills because I think he managed to pick off the other 2 that were to the north. I think that's what slowed this group down was they were taking that machine gun fire. And now we have an element of Charlie here with a kill, but a grenade was thrown up to this position. Is that a satchel? Yeah. Ineffective at taking the building out, though, but they might think it's an Op4 garrison or something. Because the Vic is using an AP autocannon, not the HE, AP is less effective at destroying buildings. They threw a second satchel, and it didn't... Yeah, I'm not sure if this building, if the hospital is taken... yeah, able to be taken out. There are some textures that can and some that can't. So you got 2 Blue 4 behind the building. Op4 taking some GLs, but it looks like... All right. DeFlaw gets knocked out by that same Op4 marksman Tackleberry here. He's been unable to get a kill yet, but he's gotten multiple knockouts. You got some Blue 4 breaching on the side over here. And that marksman just got a beautiful headshot. That was Kremet on that one Op4 defender. The cache is now in the corner back here. They're not going to be able to see it from just looking in the doorway, though. You got 3 additional Op 4 defenders. Now 2, actually. One of them got taken out. Grenades. Oh, look at that placement. Oh, he just saw it last second. You saw him look at it and then look away. Oh, that was brutal. Tackleberry trying to find a target there. But he gets the headshot. We're getting right on top of this objective. Op 4, they need to just bring all their manpower back at this point because they're losing the main fight. But if Blue 4 aren't able to capitalize on the objectives and Op 4 gets their reinforcements in, that might be enough to turn the tide. Hydrate. Kremet on a second kill. He's working on a third. Trying to get a pick off on Fancy, but Fancy pulls back into cover. Little worried about Blue 4 right now because we don't see him trying to push in the other 2 objective buildings. They're just going for kills at the moment. And that is allowing Op 4 more time to get reinforcements in, but look at how far they're deploying. That might give Blue 4 still enough time to actually play the objectives here. 113 has, 1117 has moved in. They're throwing some lawn grenades here. Almost getting it caught on the rooftop that Tackleberry's on. AT just went out. I think the 1117 is going to panic and think that that was against them, but that was an AT4, so it was likely a Blue 4 player. See some crossfire going into this building, and I do see a Blue 4 kill, so that was something caught. We have an Op 4 player getting caught out in the open and engaged by Adrisep. And this other guy, we just heard AT hit the 1117 as it pulled back. Should have dismounted and done the objective, but it panicked and went away. So big oof to that, but that's to be expected when you have urban CQC with vehicles. These 2 need to push up and hit the terminal. And hold on. Looks like Kremet found it, but he has a marksman rifle, which is the worst weapon to do mag dumping on the cache. I think this is GG at this point. We just need to see Kremet actually mag dump the cache here. Fancy got taken out. We still have Batty here on 3 kills, picking off more Blue 4 as they try to come in. A BMP3 comes in from the rear and gets 2 kills on this Blue 4 team that came in. And Henry's not pulling his AT out. I thought they would have AT. Now he's pulling it out. There's the cache destroyed. AT goes out, disables the BMP3. And now we just need to see Blue 4 run up and hit the terminal. So, Kremet was able to go up and mag dump the cache. Now we just need to see Blue 4 get a guy on that unguarded position. I agree. Zagorsk is a really great map. It's just, it can be a little framey, but you can still make do. All right, so Gerald's battle buddy was killed off by this lone defender here, Martino. He's on 2 kills. You got Blue 4 Command, Emil coming around on the northern side, but Blue 4 is unable to get a man on the terminal because Martino is covering. Now, I'm going to be honest, we still have a 3-man Foxtrot team coming in, and if they come in and pull defensive around this final objective here, Blue 4 might struggle to get onto it because Blue 4 are down to only some isolated groups, and the more organized groups of 2 to 3 are further out of the AO. Now that everyone's kind of a solo player, everyone's going to default into monkey logic here and just basically hone in on whatever gunfire they hear instead of actually playing the objective. Maybe we might see Emil try to get an ambush on this building or bypass, but knowing Emil, 50-50. He might try to smoke rush in, or he might just go for the shooter. This is where the most important part of the mission is right now. We also do have Kremet coming in. He's going to definitely hone in on the killer, though. Whenever you're opening doors, by the way, you want to do control space and slowly open the door to Pi. But we might also see some blind grenades get thrown in if you can find broken windows. So he knows it's this building. He's going to try to hone in on it. And we're just seeing some blind suppression on this player here to prevent him from advancing on the zone. Wow, hold on. Kremit might have his job be easy. You. Why are you completely out of ammo? He has to do that. He has to be out of machine gun ammo. Hold on, it doesn't matter because now that Geralt isn't being suppressed, he's going to go for this. The question is, are there mines? I don't see any. He's going to run out to try to prevent a satchel going off. What? And then Kremit pulls his handgun out. And then a grenade gets Kremit. It doesn't matter. The terminal's counting down. Minute 42. Emil. Oh, that might have been Emil putting a GL on that position and knocking Kremit. That's a pretty silly friendly fire. Geralt does have a 249, though. It's probably the best weapon for the job here, as Jesse's going to come in. Oh, he saw him, so his gun's up. Geralt didn't see him. Jesse's going to get the shot on the back. There it is. Emil now left to defend. He's going to corner camp. Jesse did not reload that magazine and ran out of ammo, and that allowed Emil to get him. Gouliat coming around with an RPK. Kremit has woken up and is doing medical. 45 seconds remain. Emil is the last line of defense. Op 4 and Blue 4 numbers are pretty even right now. Can Gouliat save this? If he stops the hack, that gives Op 4 a very good opportunity to still win, but he's going to have more Blue 4 defenders come up on him because Op 4 are taking their sweet-ass time. 25 seconds. I'm going to be honest, I would open this, take the RPG out, shoot it in the middle of the room, throw some grenades. Then again, he might not have the time. 15 seconds. There's the grenade. He runs out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last fucking second. Let's go. See, well, my question is, what are these three chuckleheads doing? Why aren't they beelining it to the objective at this point? Like, whenever you see this down to 45 seconds, that means stop what you're doing and beeline to the objective because you lose anyway. And then you got Whiplash over here. I don't know if he's doing combat looting or what, but hey, he's just taking it slow. But when the terminal is literally like 10 seconds away at that point, throw caution to the wind and run into the AO. But now this game, we've got a, what is this, a 4v5? Yep. So Op 4 could still win it. But if any of these one Op 4 players come in, kill Emil, and touch the terminal, I mean, they just have to wait a second. And it's an instant GG. Oh, damn. Seeker wasn't kidding. That's an actual lightsaber fighting class. That's pretty dope.
Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we?
Oh, and now it's just a wait and see. It's always the painful part about FNF when players get really, really tactical in a CQC situation. Which I get it. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just going to complain in the logic, not the logic, the fact that we're just kind of now stuck here. Op 4 is not showing any sense of aggression to the actual objective. It's only one guy. So we know 5 to 10 minutes down the line, eventually one of these Blue 4 guys is going to kill the Op 4 guy, get the hack down, and then it's an instant GG. Because we're not seeing any of the other Op 4 players running into support. And I agree, Network, and that is, again, part of why I find things irksome, is if you're playing objective-based PvP, and then you don't play the objective, this is what happens. You know? We're just kind of stuck at a stall thing, but it's really hard to change player perspective and player tactics when it's people making these mistakes. Because we should have seen these four beeline it to the objective. Yes, a few of them would have probably gotten killed off, but that would have stalled more Blue 4, because there's no way Op 4 is going to hold for 24.5 minutes here. I think we just saw some blue on blue. But unless Gouliat somehow, like, pulls out his aimbot... Oh, he's fighting a PKP that Kremet has. So that means the other guy still had ammo for his PKP, because why would Kremet pick it up then? It's like the ultimate CQC weapon. I think the 249 fires quicker, but the higher caliber on the PKP is what's going to always get you the kill, unless you're missing all your shots. And again, Blue 4 can take their sweet-ass time because there's 24 minutes. I don't agree with how he's moving to this main road here, because you open yourself up to people that are over here. But, I mean, look at... Literally, Mike hasn't... Whiplash hasn't moved. Foxtrot is now trickling into this area. It's like, bruh. Honestly, open the door, pop a satchel. They're even climbing on the roof. There's no rooftop. Why are you climbing on the roof? There's nothing up here. Okay, it's fine. Maybe they're not as sweaty as me, all right? They don't know that there's no second-story access on this building. Just open the door and spam grenades. Or just there. Yeah, GG. All right, we're good. Now touch it. Touch the box. Touch the box. You're clear. You just cleared both corners. It reset the entire timer. Oh my god. No fucking way. This might not. Look at that. They've rallied. This guy's just over here going, hey, this is a nice map. Huh, neat. And now Op 4 is sending a 3-man strike team, so it's essentially a 3v3. It's a 3v3 now. In a shocking turn of events, Op 4 have decided to magically wake up and send a 3-man strike team because the fourth guy is, I don't know. He's got other things on his mind. More important things. Did you just noob tube that poor bastard? Yes, you did. That was amazing. And that was the HE round. Sorry for the mic peek there. I was excited. That killed 2 Op 4 guys. Literally took this man's balls and stomach. He's literally now a foot above ground and 1 foot in the grave. All right, we got BG. There's 40 seconds left. BG has 2 kills. Can BG capitalize on this? If I had a singing voice, I'd start singing BGs to make a joke, but I don't. No, the answer is no. He's going to camp this building because he doesn't realize he's on a timer. GG. Blue 4-1. I didn't take his balls. The HE gunner did. But yeah, GG paid out to Blue 4 because he's not going to be aggressive on the terminal here. Anyway, guys, we'll be back in 39 minutes for some Warhammer 40K because that is what you guys voted for instead of covering round 3. But overall, yeah, pretty fair round considering the amount of players that were at the end on both sides. But when you have these open AOs, it's impossible to predict what's going to happen. Anyway, we also have DayZ later tonight. That's going to be done after the 40K stream. So, thank you so much for watching. Go operate. He even gets fucking noob tubed at the end. Insult to injury. He gets noob tubed. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one.